All right. We are back with the Nordic quarterly news from the 4 Nordic PropTech associations. We got a special welcome to Paavo Foley from tuning in from PropTech Finland. We have Roger Toft from PropTech Sweden, and of course Daniel Budenschön from PropTech Norway. And my name is Michael Ambjorn, broadcasting live from Blocks Hub. All right, we get together for 30 minutes 4 times a year to basically chew the fat, check in on all the latest news from each of the countries, and also to basically hear what's come before and what's ahead. And we have a lot of exciting news lined up. But before we start, we love to know who we're talking to apart from each other. So we encourage all our attendees to basically quickly check in on the chat. And we are networking forward organizations, I think it's fair to say. So that means that if you want to stick in your LinkedIn link, you can also do that, and then we can basically all connect, share, learn more, and ultimately change the world, because that's what we're all about. So we're just going to give a brief moment for people to catch up with this. Other bonus points are awarded for maybe sharing where you are tuning in from. So, for example, Roger, are you actually in Sweden now, or are you elsewhere?
I'm actually in London.
You're actually in London, right? So that's a case in point. Paavo, you tuning in from Urban 3, is that right?
Urban 3, right here in Helsinki, Finland.
And for the uninitiated, maybe would you just briefly explain what Urban 3 is?
So Urban 3 is our event space here at the Maria 01 campus in Helsinki, where Kira Hub and PropTech Finland work out of. So it's a sort of innovation hub. We have different partners here. And obviously the whole sort of community here at the Maria 01 campus is part of it. And this is where we work from. We host events here. We host our sort of daily task from here, and our big events like Recotech and stuff all takes place here in Maria 01 in our Urban 3 space.
That's great. And basically you're new to the PropTech Finland team. So just briefly, maybe 2 words about where you come from and what you do.
So I started working at Kira Hub and PropTech Finland in April. So kind of new to all of it. My background is in sort of social advocating. I worked for the Information Center for Finnish Architecture before that, sort of advancing the sort of architectural policy program of Finland. And now I sort of switched from architecture to this built environment AEC industry stuff and digitalization that we do here at Kira Hub and PropTech Finland. So that's a very short, concise about myself and my history.
That's a great intro. All right. Well, let's get started. Basically, we have had a busy Q2 with lots of things going on. We'll get into that in a moment. And as I mentioned, also maybe some industry news from around the countries. I think we'll go straight to Sweden and get some score on the rost and hear from Roger. What have you got coming up?
Thank you for that, Michael. I will just share my screen. I have some good news. I have some different news, and I have some really cool events coming up together. So I will go quickly through my the reader, show you instead, and then I will send this link for you people who wants to read more about this. So we have One Fine in Sweden. It's a fintech real estate solution who's just took in 21 Swedish million crown to expand in the Nordics and Europe. So I think they closed that in the end of May. So we see in the market right now, it's not super easy to achieve and get money, of course. We have a couple of companies who sadly gone properly down the pipe also, but this is one of those people and companies who's really doing great. So congratulations to One Fine, and looking forward to follow their journey. The One Fine was also at the BA Tech Awards, like a Swedish Business Arena Awards, in the final last year. So it's really great to see that people that is in the front of these awards is actually picking the money also. So we see that trend. From other one is Brookfield data centers. It's been a big thing, and one of our big region in around Stockholm, Strängnäs, just got the Brookfield to plan a 8.7 billion AI data center in Sweden. So that will be amazing for the region. And I also see data center in general in Sweden is growing, and the discussion. We have a lot of government and municipalities, the regions who's pushing that we are happy to get on board with more data centers. It's a lot of talk about data centers around the world, I think, but I think Sweden's really showing, and I think this will affect the capital investment and putting Sweden on the map when it comes to this. So congratulations to the Strängnäs. That was the investment that I want to just show. Other things that I think is really good for the community in the Nordics to read about is Fastighetsnytt, who is the main newspaper around real estate in Sweden. They had a big list of 25 really great cities development. So this is one of the links that I recommend to you to read to understand what's going on in Sweden and how are we the front runner when it comes to shaping the cities, how we live and work. The other one I want to also high on the list is a lot of talk about reuse. Reuse. We see more and more real estate companies, especially construction companies, also talking about this. So Förvaltarforum, who's also a newspaper, they did report about. They read 20 reports about reuse, and you could read about the 5 biggest insights. So also a link I can recommend for all those who's very interesting in what's going on in reuse. So we can see clearly in Sweden, it's about reuse, it's about security, and it's about, of course, how to put in the AI in the whole real estate models. So there's a lot about discussion about that. So that's a link I think also it's good for you to just look through when it comes to Sweden.
Great.
From that, we will move into what's going on in Sweden. So next week we have Almedalen. You've been hearing me the whole year talking about Almedalen. So we finally put the program in. Which is amazing. We are in collaboration with the regions and Hugia and Bovra together with Business Sweden. And we have a great lineup from the VCs around the world. So we have Sean Wright is coming from GLL. We have Natasha. We have Tanya from Finland. We have Per from Denmark, Jonathan from Australia, Sandra from US. The only one we actually missing is Daniel, is one from the Norwegians. So send them to me this week. I still have one space in the farm.
I'll find you someone.
Great. So that's gonna go up for next week. So it's really cool. And of course, also as you see, we will launch the Nordic PropTech Awards in the Skanska's garden in Almedalen. I think we have around 100 people sign up. So I think we are full show, and that's going to be super, super exciting. So if you are in Almedalen or you want to attend, please sign up for this. I heard it's 2,400 events that week. So it's insane. Other one of these is also, it's going to coming up with the BA Tech Awards in September. So if you have a company or you have some kind registered in Sweden, I recommend you to apply for BA Tech Awards. As you saw, One Fine was in the final 2 years ago and that took in money. So again, see that point of view. And then the last thing I want to push for from my side is, because I'm also based in London, we have a delegation trip, PropTech Connect, in the beginning of September. I just confirmed with Terence from PropTech Connect. So we will have a small booth from the Nordics and the Baltics. So are you interested to joining our delegation that week? We're gonna meet up on the Monday, visiting Battersea Power Station, which is amazing. Then we have one day together with the Swedish Chamber of UK, where you can, get the best insights, meet some people, and then we have some dinners, and then we will join in for PropTech Connect. So if you want to join in the booth, tell me, PM me, or if you just want to, you coming and joining, please reach out and we will do something fun in London.
Fantastic. That's great. Thank you for sharing that. And actually, you also launching the 2026 season of the Nordic PropTech Awards at Almedalen, right?
Correct.
So could you say 2 more words about that?
Yeah, so it's amazing. For the first, we have the first Swedish Nordic PropTech partners, Hugia Fastighetssystem. So of course that helps us when we have one of those Swedish partners also. So they will join in. We will have 2 hours mingle. So like I said, we will talk about the Nordic PropTech Awards, and then we're going to be hosted by Skanska. So Skanska's innovation and sustainable director will actually open the event in Skanska and Almedalen and open the Nordic PropTech Awards. And then, of course, me and Henrik, as you know, from Skanska, one of our front runners, will talk about Nordic PropTech Awards and how we can push the Nordics even more. So I've invited also JM, Johan and Tanya from Finland to be on the stage to talk about the Nordics and how can we set a even better push for the Nordics around the world and take that, all those amazing solutions and the real estate people, because I normally think we forget we have great solutions, but it's actually also we have amazing real estate and construction people who's in the industry who are the front runners. So I think again we should push for that even more, and that's I can see the Nordic PropTech Awards is one of those. Put the front runners in front of everyone, and that's why I see also with PropTech Connect. I've invited some of our real estate people to PropTech Connect to talk on stage, to talk about everything they are doing. So again, it's invitation for all Nordic countries to do that.
That's great. Thank you for that. And let's go to Norway. Daniel, what's the news in Norway?
Hey, well, it's good to see you guys again. I actually just wanted to start by saying that I'm getting excited about the Nordic tech scene again. It's some really good, strong news from all over the Nordics. I'm thinking about Finnish Linear becoming a unicorn. Same, of course, with Swedish Lovable, basically rewriting launched strategies, and I think they're talking now about $100 million investment and a 1.5 billion valuation. It's crazy that they were in Oslo 6 months ago and had like 5 pilot customers and 5,000 crowns in income. And Norwegian Data Button, a similar company to Lovable, is onboarding thousands of enterprise customers every month. So I think it's showing now that Nordic founders are really working hard and producing software that are competitive on quality, narrative, revenue. I've had people point out that investors from the US are flying over, not to teach but to get in. So after this section, actually, I'm heading into Oslo again to hook up with our 3-day US trade mission of VCs and real estate players, and they're here purely to scout companies and solutions. And this trade mission will culminate, of course, tomorrow at our annual PropTech for Breakfast, the cocktail edition. We have 250 signups so far. If you're in Oslo and want to join us for some drinks and some good networking, please just show up at Mesh Y at 4:00. So some people are actually referring to this new Nordic energy as Silicon Valhalla, which I like, and I think we should all promote it. Apart from this, of course, very few VC deals actually in the second quarter. One of the most interesting ones I want to share is a 3 million euro round for a company called Cartesian, which is an energy storage company. And I think that's a field that can be huge, for the Nordics. I know there's some great companies in Sweden. But funding rounds aren't the only way to gauge whether there's progress, and we have a lot of companies reporting now good numbers, big new deals, some big consolidations going on, especially as real estate companies are now really beginning to invest into AI-driven tools, energy optimization, predictive maintenance, planning and designing tools where we in the Nordics are really far ahead. What we're seeing in Norway is that AI is changing much more than that. Roger, you were talking about it, the demand for data centers. it's driving real estate basically into a sort of a clinch here with the energy sector, which they just don't trust to deliver enough cheap energy in the future. So we're seeing all these new projects now come with, power stations in the basement, microgrids to cool and heat entire neighborhoods. We've seen it in New York, at Hudson Yards for years. We see it at the soon-to-open construction city here in Oslo, which is my elegant way of saying that incidentally, that's where we're hosting the Oslo PropTech Summit, October 22nd, during Oslo Innovation Week, with very Nordic focus on tech and innovation. So we're hoping for 1,000+ visitors, really hoping to see many of you guys there. Microgrids is just one of the many topics we'll be discussing there. So we're hoping to build that into a premier Nordic meeting point where we can also meet in person. We'll have keynotes from the likes of Dror Poleg, the AI oracle from New York. We'll have builders of entirely new cities from the Gulf region. A special investors track, morning to night, activities. We're hoping to see many people from there. Log on to proptechsummit.no for the early bird tickets. And over the summer, we'll send out some special offers through our Nordic friends. That's it.
That's it. That's all the news from Norway. Thank you, Daniel. And also thank you for your effort at Symposium this year, delivering the news in PropTech, extremely well received. We've got Kajsa sitting in the, what's it called, who's the producer for this show here. She might be able to share the link to the PropTech Summit so we can all get our tickets with some urgency. We're going to turn to the land of thousand lakes, Finland. Let's get the news from PropTech Finland.
Alrighty. Okay. So hello, everyone. I'm going to start off first and foremost with some news from our PropTech Finland community. It has grown since last time, and we have some new organizations in the mix now. And I'll quickly go over some of them. We have Avi from Sweden, which is providing a digital platform for property owners and managers to improve tenant engagement and communicate better and offer different types of services for people who are renting. Then we have Como, one of the Nordic PropTech Award winners from right here in Finland, which connects individuals and communities and organizations to request or offer help locally, bringing neighborhoods together, which is good because we're not the most outgoing or socially skilled people up here. So it's good we have someone connecting us with our communities. And then we have Fastighetsloggen. I hope I'm not butchering the pronunciation there. From Sweden, which is a digital platform that enables property owners and managers to collect and share building data. An estate app from Finland, helping housing companies and property managers streamline communication and document management and resident engagement with a digital interface. And to wrap up, we have Sunday Power, a solar panel company from Norway and a Nordic PropTech Awards winner as well, and then Veni Energy from here in Finland. So those are our newest members in PropTech Finland, and we're stoked to have all of them on board. Then moving on to Recotech, the biggest PropTech and Contech event here in Finland. It's taking place in November during Slush Week. We just launched our main partnership for this year, Construction Startup Competition, which is headed by Cemex Ventures and a bunch of other industry leaders. We're super happy to have CSC on board this year because it offers so many more opportunities for Nordic companies to gain traction and recognition internationally as well, not just in the Nordics. And taking part in Recotech is absolutely free of charge for startups and industry professionals. And you can sign up by scanning the QR code on the screen there or visiting recotech.fi. So go ahead and do that. It's free, like I said, so no excuses for not showing up. And so with that, I welcome all of you to Helsinki in November. I promise it's going to be great, despite the weather maybe not being the best, but we're going to have a good time. And then thirdly, we're in the middle of starting a new ecosystem under us here at CureHub. We currently have 3 ecosystems, and we're getting a couple more. So one of them is focusing on how the built environment can tackle energy and energy usage related questions and challenges. It's called Built Environment Energy Ecosystem, as you can see. And we hosted a workshop yesterday for organizations in the energy industry which gives a lot more insight into what the ecosystem is going to look like and what kind of pilot projects we're going to be doing towards the end of this year, and sort of more of the whole overview of that industry here. And Daniel was also mentioning a little bit about the energy industry. It's going through a bit of a breakthrough right now, and definitely a big topic here in Finland. For example, a Finnish startup called Kaktos, which develops distributed energy storage systems based on batteries, just secured a 7 million euro funding earlier this year. So there's a lot of innovation going around those topics here in Finland as well. And then lastly, I wanted to leave you with this beautiful image, which is my way of saying that for the next month and a half or so, virtually everyone in Finland is going to be looking at a view that looks more or less like this one. And thus we will be out of office until August, and that includes us here at PropTech Finland. We'll be taking July off for some well-deserved R&R. And we hope that all of you get some vacation time as well this summer. And with that, I'd like to wish the whole community good June, July, August summer holiday season. And I think that's pretty much it for us from Finland.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Paavo. That's great. And I think you can leave that in there just for a moment. That's a really good thing we look forward to. I'd have to say, as we go to Denmark, to briefly note that we do the same. We will be on a very low activity level throughout July. We have a few events left this season, so to speak. We just had a season close on one of our fora, and actually tomorrow we have a practitioner network. But apart from that, it's slowly petering out. Most of Denmark is out for the summer in July. So just a quick news from Denmark. There's a lot of discussion around basically the emerging situation in the world. There's a lot of challenges, which also really brings to mind some of the readiness requirements. This is an area where certainly the Finns and the Norwegians and the Swedes are, at least by the Danes, considered to be much further ahead. And actually on that note, at Folkemøde, which is an event inspired by Almedalen, where Danes meet to exchange, one of the key things was a discussion around basically our ability to use energy well, because also in an emergency situation, you want to make sure that you make the most of it. And actually, I was reminded by the founder of Ento, which is a Danish startup focusing on electricity, basically using AI to optimize it, amongst other things, that as it stands in Denmark, we're actually wasting 20% of all the energy that we have, which is just a crazy statistic. And in a panel with leaders from across the industry, we talked about how we can address this, both through kind of machine learning and AI, through basically core real estate, stepping up to the plate and actually understanding what the data is out there, but also an element of us individually probably behaving a little bit differently. Sometimes just turning down the temperature a degree or two can make a big difference, as an example. But in other news, there's a new building directive coming in Denmark. There's a big discussion around basically building stop. Should we stop constructing? And then at the same time, in Copenhagen, there's a projected additional filling out of empty plots. So there's some tension there, and some real desire for basically looking at both construction and renovation in new ways. And actually, on that note, one of the co-founders of a Danish organization called Home.Earth has kind of broken out and created his own practice. I think they're called Transformative or Transformer. They complete with what's called back patches for their jackets, where they're basically looking at the fact that there are more buildings in the world in existence than being built, and there's a huge backlog of transformation needed in those. A couple of other things, news in wood. AP, the pension fund, has a flagship construction up near Nordhavn, which is the northern harbor in Copenhagen, which is largely reclaimed land, but on the kind of old pier. They have a multi-story wooden structure, and actually I just heard yesterday from reliable sources that is now the most expensive square meters of office in Denmark, so overtaking Postbyen, which is a more centrally located location where Danske Bank recently moved in. So there's quite a lot of movement there, and also a balance with old offices maybe seeing a little bit less demand. So we expect we'll see a shake-up there. The other key message from Folkemødet, actually from one of the financial institutions, was the fact that, surprise, you won't or you shouldn't expect to be rewarded by a financial institution when you negotiate a loan with them for being well-behaved with regards to energy and so on. But actually, you will get a worse interest rate, most likely. So it's basically kind of incentive that isn't a reward, but rather it's not you've got to look out for the demerits, as you might say, using a Latin word. Other news in wood, Velux have launched their big new innovation center in Jutland, with also a strong focus on basically reaching solutions to the urgent challenge that we have today. And then in practical terms, I just want to highlight a few collaborations from across the ecosystem. So KAB, which is specializing especially in non-profit housing, have a new collaboration with Property AI. And actually Property AI has a new integration with Dalux, which is a new member of PropTech Denmark, which we're very proud of. CEJ, a property portfolio actor, is now working with PropBinder, and we have AKF who've basically taken up with a solution called Rotation to experiment in new ways. And we also have a few changes in what's it called, ownership, so to speak. Ejendom.com have welcomed in basically what I would call a venture studio called Kring in the owner's circle to help them basically grow and take on the market. Just taking a quick look back to Symposium, I mentioned the news in PropTech, extremely well received. But we also had Guy Marcus, a leading expert on AI and especially ethical use of AI, really reading the riot act to us, I would say, and reminding us that we really need to think about the fact that we put internationality into it, but the AI itself at the back might also have a level of internationality that we need to think about. It was also very exciting to see the Norwegians once again with a strong presence in Denmark. So Sunday Power came along and took a classic from the Oslo PropTech Summit and presented their sort of ranking of, can I call it eligible roofs? Maybe there's a reality series out there for basically roofs that could get Sunday Power solar systems on them. So if you'd like that data set, basically reach out. And also a big thank you to Nordic PropTech Award winner Resites, who basically stepped up to the plate and provided some of the analysis there. We also ran just picking up on the prepper element, a live scenario from stage, which I think unsettled some, but it's a good reminder. Basically, do you know what to do in worst case scenario if basically the power goes? We are using a lot of digital tools, but as the old saying goes, real men don't back up; they just cry a lot. Think about it. All right. The other thing that was quite exciting was that Anthony Slumbers came along. He's famous across the Nordics, toured many events, and launched his new global AI prompt initiative. I think if you search for Anthony Slumbers and PropTech Symposium, you'll find an article where he talks more about that. And also a quick link through to the Architects Without Borders, which is an organization we support. Basically, when people speak at the symposium, we give a donation on behalf of the speaker to this worthy organization, and they came and talked about their work more broadly, but also specifically in Ukraine, where they're basically helping rebuild using new materials. So a lot going on. A few key things that I also want to put on your radar is that we have 4 new board members. We have the CEO of Sifgruppen, which is basically one of the leading companies of, I guess you would call it electricians and electrical installers in Denmark. We have Line Gavny from Clever, which is the most aggressively growing basically mobility platform, meaning they provide chargers throughout the country. And then Nabil Chuk from what's it called, One Click LCA, sorry, Real Time LCA. One should be careful with those company names. And then Liza Sentiment from Pathways AI. So basically boosting also both basically hardcore business skills here and some real AI understanding as we step into the new what's it called time ahead. Just a brief look to events ahead I want to highlight. Obviously, we're super excited about coming to Recotech. We're super excited about coming to the Oslo PropTech Summit. The link is now in the margin as well. And of course, we are excited that we have some of our board members attending the event that Roger is running at Almedalen, and that will be super exciting. And we hope that you will all join us at the Tech Barbecue coming up in August, and also BIM World in Copenhagen, also coming up relatively soon. So there's a lot going on. It's an exciting time to be alive. And as always, we are at Blogshub, and if you are in Copenhagen, do stop by for a coffee. We're basically coming up on time. Any final calls to action from the crew here? Let's quickly go to maybe Roger first. What's the one thing you would like our audience to do now, or do differently perhaps?
Good questions. Out of the blue. Well, I think in general, what we see, there's a lot of collaboration in the real estate and PropTech construction tech and fintech and so on. But one of the things I would like to push more is together on delegation trips around the world. I think we had a Hub Brussels delegation trip from Belgium coming to Sweden, and I think they were in Copenhagen first. So what I really want to try to push for is together, maybe more go on delegations trips around the world to find great spots together, because it's a number game. So if we are stronger as a collaboration, as an ecosystem, I think we can do these delegation trips more better and more spiked. So one of the push, reach out to all of us and ask, we want to go to Belgium, we want to go to China, we had a delegation to Japan we're talking about. So those kind of stuff, I think that will be even more from the ecosystem with collaboration of those kind of delegation trips.
That's a really good point. And actually, it should be said, there are also a set of existing delegations in operation. So, for example, for Symposium, big thank you to the Danish Embassy in Stockholm, who basically helps bring people alongside members from PropTech Sweden, and vice versa, Nordic Edge and PropTech Norway usually lead a delegation to to Denmark, and we in turn take people under the arm, so to speak, and go to Recotech in Helsinki. So there's also an opportunity to basically tag along intra-Nordics, but your call to action to go a bit more broadly. And with that, if you haven't been to London recently, there's a great opportunity to go and meet Roger and meet some great people there. Just very quickly, with the time available, quick call to action, Paavo, and quick call to action, Daniel, and then we'll close.
Yeah, piggybacking off of what Roger was saying, one of our mottos is out of the silos and forward together. So always think a bit outside the box with who you can work with, who you can cooperate with, what kind of stakeholders you can work with, and come meet all of these interesting people at Recotech in November.
That's great. And Daniel?
Just quickly, there are so many great Nordic companies. We're still not good at scaling across the Nordic borders, so we should be much, much better at it. Just think about over the summer how you want to reach out to the specific Nordic associations, and we'll help you set up some market initiatives here.
That's great. Fantastic. With that, this was the Nordic Quarterly News. We hope to see you at the great events ahead. And we will be back, basically just after the summer to share the latest news. Thank you very much, Paavo. Thank you, Roger. And thank you, Daniel. My name is Michael, and we'll see you again soon. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Michael.